I am not what happened to me. I am what I choose to become. When you make a mistake, it's easy to project that mistake over the course of the rest of your life and to embody that mistake and to identify with it and treat yourself like you're someone who makes mistakes or you're someone who's made a mistake. Let's say you've been disloyal, for instance. You take that moment of disloyalty and you apply it to your life and you call yourself a disloyal person. The reason you do that is because you know better, you knew that you shouldn't be doing it, but the mistake happened irrespective of that. So you've kind of got this inner knowing of what you should have done and then this knowing of what you did, and those two conflict, and so you judge and you criticize the self that made the mistake. When you have that internal conflict, the monologue in your head becomes nasty. It becomes mean. It becomes someone who hates itself. You can see why that's a problem, because that negativity and that internal conflict just leads to burying your head in the sand. And when you bury your head in the sand, you can't see what you're meant to do to get through the issue. You can't come up with the next steps, and you sort of build your whole identity around this failure. But if you want any meaningful progress in your life, you can't just treat yourself like dirt because you made a mistake. That makes no sense. You have to change the way that you speak to yourself, and you have to view that whole scenario differently. You can't hate yourself into a version of yourself you love. So in our minds is a coach and a player. We sort of spoke about this before. You know that this is the case because sometimes you have a thought or you have an opinion and your actions are different. It's sort of like, you know, the coach told you what to do, you know what to do, but the self that makes the actions is a sort of a separate part of you. Now, how the coach treats the player is very important in life, because if you're playing a sport, for instance, would you prefer a coach who's, mean and nasty and criticizing you, or someone who is honest with you but kind and pragmatic and solution focused? So it's very clear what you would like in a practical real life sense. So when we're thinking about the coach and the player in our heads, it's no different. You want the coach to be pragmatic, solution focused, forgiving, kind. You don't want them to just criticize and beat you down because you made a mistake. Too many of us in this world have a coach in our heads that make us feel small and pathetic, and they think that they need to be mean to themselves to justify the mistake or to reprimand the mistake accordingly. So you think that because you made a mistake and because you know it's wrong, that you need to punish yourself for making that mistake, and then somehow that will lead to you healing. But no, in those scenarios, after you've made a mistake, you need your coach to be helpful to you, to help you out of that hole. You can't just punish yourself until you somehow are going to feel better one day. That's not really how it works. Think about if someone that you know, like a friend or a child, made a mistake. How would you respond to them? You wouldn't say, you made a mistake, I'm going to punish you. You would say, don't let that mistake define you. Get back on your feet, learn from your mistake and keep going. And for some reason, we're not able to apply that same rationale to ourselves. If you take one thing from this video, let it be that you are not what you've done, you are what you continue to do. If you came last in a running race and then you won the race the next 4 years, are you still a loser? So if you've made a mistake years ago, or even yesterday, and today you're a changed person, why would you continue to view yourself as a failure or someone who's made a mistake? Instead of your coach in your head reprimanding and punishing the player for making the mistake, let them treat the player with compassion. Let them be nice to them. Let them say positive things and be solution focused. Be honest. It's okay to make a mistake, and it's okay to admit that you made a mistake. In fact, it's a good thing. But don't punish yourself. Don't feel small. Don't make yourself feel pathetic because of it. The more pressure that the coach puts on the player to perform, you must perform, the less likely they are to perform. And the more kindness and compassion that the coach shows to the player, the more likely they are to overcome their mistakes and become a better player and a better person in this case. I hope you liked that video. I feel like so many of us are so hard on ourselves after mistakes, and the smarter you are and the more conscientious you are and the more you understand morality, the harder you are on yourself. And so I encourage you to be proud of that morality, but when you go against it, because we all make mistakes, to overcome it with kindness and compassion. So if you like this video, subscribe and like and whatever. I'm trying to do these every week, and if you're interested, I write these in a weekly newsletter. So these are old newsletters that I'm using, so if you want to keep up to date, they come out every Saturday morning, and you can subscribe in below, and it's free. So yeah, thanks for watching, and see you next time.